माननीय केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी, जम्मू और कश्मीर का राज्यपाल श्री मनोज सिन्हा जी, एएम जम्मू बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नर्स अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर मिलिंद कांबरे जी, एएम जम्मू निर्देशक आचार्य जीएस सहाय जी, एएम जम्मू के बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नर के माननीय सदस्यगण, सम्मानित अतिथिगण, स्नातकों, अभिभावकगण और परिजनों, शिक्षकगण एवं स्टाफ के सदस्यगण, मीडिया के मित्रों, प्यारे स्नातक साथियों, आप सभी को नमस्कार। देश के 20 इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट में से सबसे नए एएम जम्मू के तीसरे और चौथे दीक्षांत समारोह में आपके साथ सम्मिलित होने पर हार्दिक प्रसन्नता का अनुभव कर रहा हूं। हर नए संस्थान की तरह ही एएम जम्मू को भी पहले के एएम के अनुभव से सीखने का लाभ मिला है। साथ ही उसे अपने अलग पहचान बनाने का अवसर भी मिला है। मुझे खुशी है कि एएम जम्मू ने अपने लिए ऊंचे लक्ष्य किया है और बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नर, निर्देशक और शिक्षक समुदाय उच्च स्तरीय शिक्षा सुनिश्चित करने, स्तरीय शोध और अनुसंधान के अवसर पर उपलब्ध कराने तथा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग बढ़ाने के लिए कृत संकल्प है। My dear brothers and sisters, and my young graduates who are graduating today, Jammu Kashmir, like other parts of the country, has been an important center of education since ancient times. This is the land of Patanjali, who gave the gift of yoga to the world. This was the land where aesthetics got a new idiom in the works of Anandavardhana. This was the land where Laleswari and Abba Khatun mesmerized audience with their poetry. We must continue to enrich that rich culture of learning and the culture of innovation. I'm happy number of educational institutions have been established here in this part of the country. We must make quality education the springboard of development. It should be noted by all, particularly the academic community. India today is at crossroads. We have firmly resolved to take the path of sustainable, inclusive development. Certainly, education is at the heart of transformation. The Honorable Prime Minister, श्री नरेंद्र भाई, उन्होंने देश के सामने 3 मंत्र, छोटे सी मंत्र रखे। उन्होंने कहा, रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म। Transformation of the nation, transformation of the lives of the people. That is the task before us. We must make people's life more comfortable, more happy, so that they all can live in peace, harmony, and happiness. That should be aim for all the people, right from politicians to policy makers to the academic community to student community. It should be our endeavor to see that we were able to make the countrymen safe and secure, along with that happier also. This is the task we have. We need to build a vibrant, resurgent India that capitalizes on its traditional strength and moves on forward by observing the best in the world. My dear sisters and brothers and youngsters, I am glad to note that IIM Jammu is well poised to contribute significantly to this resurgence. The Institute has shown great promise for exponential growth over the last few years. This convocation It is a significant milestone for the institution and the students who are graduating today. I congratulate the students of Master of Business Administration MBA program on completing their course successfully. I would also like to congratulate Professor B.S. Sahai, Director IIM Jammu, the faculty members who have done their utmost to create congenial learning environment for students and equip them with the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will stand them in good stead in their future endeavors. I would also like to commend the parents who have encouraged and motivated their children to succeed in their academic pursuit. Dear graduating students, we are reaping the reward of your 2 years of hard work and dedication, which has brought this proud moment for you and all others associated with you. The world of immense opportunities and intense challenges are awaiting you. Opportunities are there, but challenges also are coming. The world is changing. Technology, science, research is coming with new innovations. We must, youngsters, we must equip with more and more innovations, and then, as I told you, work for the betterment of the people. The knowledge and skills you have acquired, the values you have imbibed, will enable you to successfully navigate a complex world. It is a whole new world of work and constant learning that promises an exciting voyage of discovery for each one of you. My dear young friends, when you are going through your journey, you will realize that India is also undergoing a significant transformation. With fast-track development over recent years, our country is making great strides to fulfill the aspirations of our people. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has brought many challenges, but it did not break the spirit. It has only prompted us to work harder and reach our national goals. You would have read in the newspapers 2 days ago that IMF, International Monetary Fund, has raised its GDP growth forecast for our country during the coming financial year from 11.5% to 12.5%, making India as one of the fastest growing major economies in the world. This is truly heartening. This speaks volumes about our resilient spirit and inherent strengths. The biggest resource and partner of our country in this exciting journey of development is youth. You people like yourselves, everyone is endued with immense demographic dividend. We have potential to achieve anything. 65% of our Indian population is below 35 years. 50% of the population is below 50 years. So such is the youth power of our country. But for us to leverage the potential, we must enrich our human resources. Young people have to be motivated, adequately trained, and be fit and healthy. You have to be physically fit. If you are physically fit, then you will be mentally alert. What is the lesson we have learned from COVID? Physical fitness is more important. For physical fitness, everyone must take to some exercise of their choice. Yoga or any other practice for that. Physical fitness is necessary for a healthy life. If you have a healthy life, then you can have a wealthy life. There is no guarantee if you have a healthy life, you will have a healthy life. Because your health depends on the hard work. That has to be kept in mind. Another important factor I would like to tell the youngsters is that we must eat rich, proteinous food, protein food. We should avoid junk food. But unfortunately, because of some publicity, branding, and other things shaping the West, some of us are taking to junk food. The food has to be prepared, cooked properly. One boy told me, sir, we have now instant food. I always tell them wherever I go, instant food means constant disease. This has to be understood by one and all. Food has to be cooked, it cannot be instant. Then it will not be healthy. So we must not only have some physical fitness exercise, but also healthy food habits. This is equally important. Why I am stressing this is, you are the future of our nation. You must practice these healthy methods. This is a lesson COVID has taught us. And also our way of living is also equally important. Our planning, our architecture, everything should undergo a change. Just for example, go through the life of the rural people. How many of them are affected by COVID pandemic? Vis-a-vis urban. The reason is they have open air, sun, they enjoy the nature. We in urban areas, we are trying to live in congested areas. Not only that, we are not having the traditional ancient lifestyle. That's one of the reasons one has to be understood. So that's why I always say nature, culture, together for bright future. This should be the watchword. Nature, culture, together for bright future. Our nature is abundantly available, but we are not utilizing. And also our culture, our traditions, which our forefathers have given to us. They are very rich in nature. The value system, the traditions, they have to be followed by all of us for a healthy life and make our life also happy. My dear youngsters, the young people, I always feel, has to be motivated, adequately trained, and be fit and healthy. That will make the nation fit. Skill development and quality education are crucial development accelerators. That's why the Prime Minister, after he took over, he started a skill development ministry, full-fledged ministry. Because we in India, our children, they have some inherent skills. What is required is they have to be upgraded according to the demand, according to the changing times. So skill upgradation and training and development is very much required. We as a nation must focus on them and work consistently to enhance access to education and improve the quality of education. This is the underlying theme of the new National Education Policy 2020. I'm happy that considerable progress has been achieved over the years in our country with reforms in higher education, establishment of new education institutes, development of ranking framework, and the ease of FDI in education. I am hopeful that with the implementation of the comprehensive visionary education policy, education in India can truly become holistic, child-centered, and globally competitive. Sisters and brothers, in addition to the above initiatives, we must push harder to make our higher education more in line with the realities of the world. Industry-institute linkages must be further strengthened. Only through solving real-world problems can the students become adept at the fundamental of their subjects. Our industry will greatly benefit too from the fresh perspectives young minds can offer. Our education institutions too have to be quick on their feet to anticipate the future trends that might evolve as the nation recovers from the pandemic. The world of learning and the world of work are changing very rapidly, as I told you. And institutes such as yours need to be over alert, ever agile. You should be able to adapt, evolve, and respond to situations that have never been faced by mankind. I told you new challenges are likely to come. In the course of this pandemic, we have realized both necessity and potential of technology in delivering education. We must ensure that technological tools are used extensively and prudently. We should also make sure that the existing digital divide does not get widened further. The most remote areas and the most underprivileged students should be enabled to benefit from this technological revolution. This is also an important aspect. National institutes like IIM Jammu must become innovative in the courses they offer, based on the market realities and the new demands of the fourth industrial revolution. They must offer diplomas and degrees that bring diverse fields like agriculture, business, technology, humanities, and management together. Agriculture, focus on agriculture is equally important. Even the IIM I suggest to them, they should focus more and more on agriculture. The reason being, agriculture is our basic culture. 50% of our population, in spite of industrialization, business developing, are still depending on agriculture. So we must make the life of agriculturists happy. And we must see to it that we come out with new technologies, new innovations, new marketing ideas for the agricultural products. Today, marketing is an important aspect of the agriculture sector. We are producing plenty, but people often complain of lack of adequate market facilities, lack of information. In certain places, the products are sold at a very cheaper price, and same products are sold at a very higher price to the consumers because of lack of information, lack of infrastructure. The government definitely is focusing more and more on this aspect of infrastructure, creating more godowns, creating rural godowns, creating refrigerator van systems, and also bringing ENAM, the ENAM National Agriculture Market, should be spread across the country at the earliest. You must come out with new ideas to help the agriculturists, because as I told you, they constitute 50% of our population. Educated people, even IIM graduates, postgraduates, some of you must take agriculture. It's one of the most respectable professions. And we, if we focus more on that, we can not only achieve self-sufficiency, we can provide food for the world. That is our capacity. In a country like India, where the population is going up, you cannot be satisfied with the present situation. So you have to equip yourself with the future trends of the world market, and also, as I told you, you must equip the farmers, the rural population, about the market techniques and also the new ideas for agriculture development. Remember, we cannot solve the problems of the future with the same superficial, segregated approach of the past. We need to develop a mindset that encourages innovation and institutional reform that fosters creativity and promotes excellence. Dear students, as future managers, you have to respond to a world that is changing very rapidly. Your ability to take decisions in an uncertain world, your agility to adapt to new context will become very crucial. As you try to excel in your fields and go about solving problems, your success will depend on your ability to assimilate information, analyze evidence, and experiment with possible solutions. Your active interaction with the key stakeholders and respect for others' views can broaden your own horizons. The bottom line ultimately is not only maximizing the profit, but also maximizing happiness and enhancing the quality of our lives. I am confident that each and every one of you has the capability to contribute towards the growth of our country and be a catalyst in bringing about a positive change in society. Some of you will enter corporate world. Some of you will be with the government or academia. Some of you will set up your own enterprises. Whatever you may choose to do, please try to be among the best. Let excellence be your watchword. If you keep listening and learning as aspiring entrepreneurs, managers, and consultants, we will identify innovations that might work at the grassroots. Bring your expertise to achieve scale for these indigenous solutions. You can bring in technology to complement traditional skills of our craftsmen. You can help farmers increase their farm productivity also, not only market, and get better returns. Hopeful that each one of you can lead this change process, a change that makes tomorrow better than today. Tomorrow should be better than today. My dear youngsters, Jammu Kashmir, where you are studying, is an integral part of India. And we are of the opinion we are capable of solving our problems. No country, for that matter, has any business to interfere or make comments in the internal affairs of other country, any other country. We are capable of solving our problems, and we all believe in democracy. We all will believe in civilization. If you are really civilized, you are not expected to interfere in the affairs of other country. I advise some friends who are trying to give unasked advices in between and make commentaries to confine themselves to their domestic problems. And we are capable of taking care of our own problems. They did not worry about us. I'm very clear about it. Youngsters, as I told you, this part of the country is very beautiful. The people are also dutiful. But you need to have peace. Peace is the prerequisite for progress. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention. This has to be understood by one and all. That's why peace is very much required. Some people from the neighborhood, they always try to create problems, create disturbance, because they don't want our country to progress. We should not allow their attempts to succeed. We should be guided with the spirit of national integration. Nation first, party profession next, self last. That should be our attitude. Nation first attitude has to be there among all. Irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region, we are all Indians. We may belong to Jammu, we may belong to Kashmir, we may belong to Valley, we may belong to South, we may belong to North. We must remember that we all are sons of this country. भारत माता का संतान है. गर्व महसूस करना चाहिए that we are Indians. This feeling is very much necessary, and we must see to it that the falciferous tendencies that are being encouraged by certain forces, they are failed, and we should always stand united. My dear youngsters, the country is moving forward. We must fast forward it. The entire world is looking to India. India is being recognized and respected worldwide. And India is the most favorite destination for investment. With the ease of doing business, with the reforms that are brought in by the Prime Minister, the new ideas, the world is looking to India. And we have the potentiality to take advantage of that. To see to it that we become a strong, stable, peaceful, prosperous, happy nation. That should be our goal. And if every one of us work, definitely we'll be able to achieve it at the earliest. Atmanirbhara Bharat. What is the message of Atmanirbhara Bharat? We must be self-sufficient. We must be able to stand on our own. That should be the goal in every sector. You youngsters, and particularly IIM graduates, you have a greater role to play in this Atmanirbhara Bharat. Everyone must feel proud of his profession, to work for the nation, to passion. And we must all be committed to the welfare of the nation. Nation means all. Nation means, as I told you, It does not belong to one section, one community, one religion, or one region. The entire country is one nation. And we say भारत माता को जय हो, मैंने भारत में रहने वाले सभी जनों को जय हो, ये हमारा उद्देश्य है. That is the idea of भारत माता को जय. That is the idea of nationalism. That is the spirit of nationhood that has to be understood by one and all. And we must all work together, work hard, work in a disciplined manner for development of our country. That is the real Atmanirbhar Bharat. And I also call upon the youngsters. You must all feel proud of your mother. Feel proud of your mother tongue. Feel proud of your motherland. You must always feel proud of your teachers. These things has to be remembered by everyone. Mother tongue is equally important. Mother tongue. Because you will be able to articulate, you will be able to understand better in your mother tongue, the original ideas. I am not against learning other languages. Learn as many languages as possible. But do not neglect mother tongue. Mother tongue is like your eyesight. The other language is like spectacles. If you have eyesight, then spectacles will work. If you don't have eyesight, even if you wear Ray-Ban glasses also, Zuban se kuch aayega nahi. This has to be understood. And there is a wrong notion. Without the knowledge of English, we will not be able to move forward or occupy higher positions. The President of India, the Vice President of India, the Prime Minister, we are the examples standing here. We all studied in our village schools in our mother tongue. Even Dr. Abdul Kalam also studied in his mother tongue initially. And later on, yes, we should try to learn as many languages as possible. That is for the good of all of us and for our country. So focus on your mother tongue, feel proud, but at the same time, remember that you are a Bharatiya, you are an Indian. अंत में मैं आपके स्वस्थ और सफल भविष्य का कामना करता हूँ. आपके भावी प्रयास सफल हो. मुझे विश्वास है कि इस संस्थान ने आपको एक मजबूत आधार प्रदान किया है, जिस पर आप आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, प्रगति कर सकते हैं. आप अपना करियर आगे प्रगति करेंगे और अधिक सक्षम और अधिक समर्थ बनेंगे. आशा करता हूं कि आप में से हर कोई समाज के प्रति अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का प्रति भी सजग रहेगा. आप में से हर कोई एक खुशहाल, समृद्ध और समावेश भारत की निर्माण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध रहेगा. शिक्षा का उत्कृष्ट स्तर रखने के लिए मैं इस संस्थान का निर्देशक तथा शिक्षकों का अभिनंदन करता हूं. मुझे उम्मीद है कि आने वाले कुछ वर्षों में ही IIM जम्मू की गणना देश की श्रेष्ठतम मैनेजमेंट संस्थाओं में होने लगेगी. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Dr. Milind Kamble ji, Chairman BOG IIM Jammu, to formally announce the closing of the convocation.
I declare the convocation closed.